weird as fuck. And I'm happy to say that on camera.
Yeah,
Have you seen
Simon's house? Exactly. Yeah,
Probably
it's like
500
a jungle.
bloody plants, if not more.
Oh my God. Hi everyone. This is week 3 of Movember and we are talking about mental health and men. I'm so happy today to have a very good mate of mine, Aaron. We've known each other for years and years. Aaron used to kill me in the gym.
Decades.
Aaron used to be my PT. I'm really glad to have Aaron with me today to talk about mental health, and perhaps Aaron can open up and share a little bit more about his personal journey. So, mate, how's things been for you?
Yeah, you probably picked me at a very good time, that's for sure.
Okay.
A lot's been happening in my life, especially over the last few years. You know, when I was in my 20s and 30s, life was going pretty well. I was training hard, having fun and games, and I didn't really have too many mental health issues. For me, it all sort of started when I first got married. It was 2016. I probably wasn't skilled enough at the time to understand what was happening in my life. I had my own life, and then I met this woman. It was quite an up and down relationship, and I'd never experienced that in my life. If you feel like you got to trust your instincts a little bit, and I didn't. So back then I did talk to myself like, this doesn't seem right, but I kept getting talked out of it by my ex-wife. My mates were actually, surprisingly, talking to me a lot. And they were still in my life, but when you're with someone and they're pulling you away from your mates, and your mates are starting to say, Aaron, are you okay? You're questioning. So I had a good network of friends. But I sort of kept listening, but not listening, not absorbing it, because I didn't want to hear the truth. We ended up having 2 kids. Everything got a lot worse when you got kids, because there's a lot more stress, a lot more pressure and responsibilities. I've learnt now it was a toxic relationship, okay? I was not happy. I was alienated, was put down. I tried to get out of that a lot of times. I reckon probably at least 30, 40 times I tried to get out of that relationship in terms of just leave the house. Wow. And whether it was for 24 hours just to have a breather, whether it was for 5 minutes to have a breather, but I would come back. These are the red flags for sure. If you come back and they are groveling and beg and plead that they'll change, I know back then I didn't have the skill and I was weak. I'm a fix-it sort of person, and a lot of guys are problem solvers. So I saw her and I was like, I can help her. Nutrition, and she got that better, and this and that. But when a person doesn't feel like they're the problem and they don't want to address it or acknowledge that, they're never going to change. Yeah. So it just got to a point where I just said, enough is enough. I was having heart palpitations, driving home, all that kind of stuff. So when you're feeling that, you know it's not good for your body, and you can feel the stress, and your body never lies, Yeah. Why is your calf always sore? Why is your back always sore? And I'm not doing anything to aggravate it. It was just stress of the body. So I made the call and I left, which was the hardest call I had to make, because then I'm leaving 2 young boys. Yeah. To her, it was the easiest decision because I'm leaving. But to me, because I know the type of person she is, it was the hardest decision because I know what the repercussions would be if I leave. The repercussions is, all right, now it's going to be hell for you leaving me. I'm going to do everything I can to keep you away from these boys. Even though I've spoken to plenty of experts, have plenty of friends, family, everyone, and they've known me for years, and they know, they go, Aaron, you're a good bloke. I've seen you in the good and bad. You actually are a good dad. I've seen you with your kids. You've sort of got to retrain your brain a little bit to go, fuck, I am a good dad, I am a good man, I'm a good person, after being told this for 7 years that you're an asshole. So it's hard to sort of do that. Once I left her, I was on my own for about a year. I thought, let's let the dust settle. I don't want to bring anyone to my life again until things potentially settle down with her. I ended up renting a house and going from there. Now I'm living in this house for 4 years, and I've obviously found someone else. That obviously also is a big part, that I found another partner, and now we're married. That was pretty big. That's a big chunk, probably a good quarter to a half, because when you're with someone, you become very reactional, because you're always in that protective mode. You're always on guard and walking on eggshells. So when you have, not even an argument, when they might question you for something and you're so used to being defensive, my wife now would be like, I'm just asking a question, it's all good. And I go, oh my God. Yeah. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm just willing to grow and listen and learn. Simple as that. Yeah. So that is a big part of that chunk, and why now I truly do understand the depths of mental health. When I did leave her, that 6 weeks was fucking torturous. I was trying to see my kids on weekends. She was calling, messaging, abusing, living shit out of me. There was probably a couple of times where I was in the room bawling my eyes out, just going, this is just too hard. And as I've said to you, I was super lucky that I had my best mate, his wife, his 2 boys were there who were the same age as my 2 young kids at the time. So I had just immediate impact. So if you're ever in that situation, probably one of the best things you can do is surround yourself with people that know you and love you and aren't going to judge and just want to listen. Be like what you do. Just listen. Some people just want to vent, as I say, and just listen. And you don't even have to give them advice. Just sometimes you just be there and say, fuck, that's shit, dude. I feel for you. Absolutely. And just have a hug, have a beer, whatever it is. Sometimes that's all you need. That was tough. So that was probably the lowest of the lows I've been in terms of like, literally, I remember like it was yesterday, just in the corner, just crying, going, this is just fucking too hard, man. But you get out of it. There's always a little bit of light there. There's always. Yeah, and in terms of the mental health stuff, I've done parenting courses, and they also coincide with a little bit of the self-care. You already know that I've always been into training. Any form of just going for a walk, resistance training, works better than depression or drugs.
Absolutely.
Speak to your doctor, all that kind of stuff, whether you want to combine that and then wean off it, whatever. But that, for me, has probably been number one. And then I'll put all the other stuff combined in all the little things that I do, which would be just get out, get some sun. I've got my ice bath, I've got a sauna at work, so I sweat, then a cold shower. Yeah, another combo obviously is good quality food and nutrition.
Absolutely,
you know,
yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate just giving yourself, even if it's 1 minute. Everyone says do meditation for 20 minutes. Some people just don't have the time, or they can't sit there for 20 minutes. Just do 1 minute. Close your eyes and just focus on your breath for 1 minute.
Yeah. Did you consider like therapy or seeing a counselor or a psychologist?
100%. Yeah. It's like with PT.
Yeah.
You can sort of have a fair idea of what you need to do. You're pretty clued in, but it makes a difference when you've got a guy or a woman who's highly skilled and can just give you those little dot points, whether it's training or whether give you those tools to go, oh, I didn't even think of it like that. Good. I haven't had to do it continuously. It's more like I've been proactive. Yeah, and I know that's probably one of the hardest things, to be proactive. They've seen a lot and they're there to help you. So I always feel so much better. They're there to listen and give you some tools. Yeah. About 3 years ago, I did an online group, separate fathers sort of thing. Yeah. It sort of makes you step back and go, okay, my life, in my opinion, looks like it's fucking going crazy and it's pretty scary. And then you listen to other people, and look, it can work both ways. You can either go, wow, he's going through a lot. I feel fortunate and lucky that it's not as bad as that, you know, or it can work the other way. Yeah. You know, you might get even more entrenched and more anxious about it. So you got to work out what works for you. Yeah. So a psychologist, big time, and obviously, you know, and mates is obviously another big one as well.
Absolutely. If you were to give one advice to a guy out there who's currently experiencing something similar, what would you say to them?
I feel like if it's a guy that doesn't want to go face to face with someone, whether it's a psychologist, whether it's he's too scared to look weak in front of his mates. If you're a bit too scared to go to that first step, which would be a face to face with a human being, something online. There's so much stuff online, an online father group like I did. And you can just block your face, you're just there, you listen to stories and you go, okay, and then you might get a few tools from there. And then that might just leapfrog you to the next step and the next step. So usually it's a very slow growth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like sometimes 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Surround yourself with people that you love, whether it's family or friends, and just have good people around you that support you and listen.
Absolutely.
You know? And then obviously getting professional help is number one, but some people can't afford it, and some people just don't want to do it, that face-to-face. Even telehealth calls. I've done some telehealth calls too with a psychologist. Yeah. You can always block yourself. Block what you look like. Block if you're wearing your dressing gown or something.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate that, and good luck and enjoy your holidays coming up.
Beautiful. Thank you, Simon.
No worries.